You're listening to Winnipeg's Classic 107. My name is Simon Rusnak. Now, if you thought a one-man band was impressive, how about a one-man opera? And if there's one man up to the task, it's undoubtedly the Thomas Edison of entertainers, the wizard of one-liners, and the lightning bolt of lunacy himself, Al Simmons. And I'm so thrilled to say that he joins me digitally. Hello.
Hello, Simon. Hello, everybody.
Well, I am just so excited that you're here. And I just want to start off by saying, as a lifelong Al Simmons fan, I'm so excited that this show, The Barber of Seville, is happening.
Well, I'm a big fan of this radio station too, so I'm honored to be on it.
Oh, well, I'm glad the feeling is mutual. So, this, like for me, might be a first time for people to see this production, but this collaboration goes back to 2009, right? With yourself and Manitoba Opera?
Yeah, Larry DeRoche, Manitoba Opera, who's been a good supporter of mine through the years. He initially, I haven't run this by him, but I'm quite certain he was involved in the origins of the Winnipeg Fringe Festival way back then. And he had me do some stuff with them as well. But he asked me to come in and have a meeting with him and some folks there to see if we could, if I could create something that would take opera into schools to show students a type of music that they're not going to be listening to otherwise. And so I think between us all, we decided that Barber of Seville would be a good one. So I agreed to do it because that's sort of what I do all the time is I normally just say yes and then panic. No, I say yes and then find a way. Like I always try to be optimistic. There's got to be a way to do this. So they gave me lots of resources. They gave me the score and several CDs of the opera and numerous translations of it. And I'm telling you, it took me 2 months. I had papers and scores and stuff spread out on the kitchen table. And I went through the actual translation, word by word, of the Italian. And I had an Italian-English translation book, and I just went through, and some of the songs were out of it because the content wouldn't be good for kindergarten to grade 6 students. There's some heavy drinking and there's guns.
Yeah, not the best, not the best.
So, but some of the tunes were amazing, and you know, I've got to hand it to Rossini and Strabini. I forget the lyric, the fellow that wrote the libretto. Shame on me, but anyway, the two of them, it's brilliant. The words, the way it's written, it's just fantastic. It translates to English, and it's so funny, a direct translation like that. But what I discovered was Rossini, they were making fun of the music of the previous century, which is curious to me. There's a lot of humor that would be lost for us, that there's no way we would even be able to get our heads around what happened. You know, he's making fun of maybe politicians or whatever. So I updated it to appeal to the audience now, and I stuck in little things about what's going on currently, but plus some of the tunes mirror the lyrics that you hear on the current hit parade. So I've got Carly Rae Jepsen in there, and I do my hair toss, check my nails, baby, how you doing? Lizzo. I've got current tunes.
Yeah, you've got the classic 107 tunes all the time. I mean, Lizzo,
there we go.
regular repeat. But no, I mean, this is what's so thrilling about this. I mean, as you say, Rossini himself was just an incredible tunesmith, and he worked at a remarkable rate. And he collaborated with, I think his name was Sterbini, but
That's
it's of
it.
course,
Good for you.
it's of course based on Beaumarchais' play. And so what's really interesting here is that it is a commentary of the time, and then you've just, as you say, further adapted it to our present time. Now, I am really curious in terms of the opera. You mentioned you settled on the Barber of Seville, and what a choice it was. But you've got 400 years of operas to choose from. What drew you to Rossini's The Barber of Seville in the first place? Was it Larry suggesting, "Hey, this might be a good one," or was it something else?
I can't remember how it came about. Maybe they were doing a production of that in the next season and they wanted to tie it in. That's my guess. But I can't remember how that came about. But
Well,
it just
I'm
seemed natural.
well, yeah. The other thing that I'm wondering about is, did this maybe have something to do with maybe your own childhood and that oh so famous Rascally Rabbit? Did this have did Bugs Bunny have anything to do with your life and with opera?
Well, uh, 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 if I had a hero when I was growing up, it was Bugs Bunny. Uh, so I just loved Bugs Bunny cartoons and that. So yes, and Bugs Bunny and Elmer Fudd make several appearances in my version of it
Do they?
too.
Oh, well, I'm so glad to hear that they
See
make an
the
appearance.
Yeah, I went to see the Manitoba Opera's last presentation of Barber of Seville. I guess it was 2 seasons ago
Hmm.
because we lost the season. But I was in the audience and my wife had to poke me to stop me from saying, "Welcome to my shop. Let me cut your mop."
It's true. I don't think you were the only one doing it in the audience. And I know for me in my childhood, Bugs Bunny was a big part of that. One of my first exposures to opera, and you were a big part of my childhood. I still have a signed copy of Something's Fishy at Camp Wigganishi. It's a prized possession.
That's cool.
Um,
That's funny. That CD, I recorded it in '93, and I had a young child come up to me for an autograph a couple of years ago, and maybe 6 years old, 6-year-old girl, and held up the CD to me and said, "This is you, right?" And I said, "Yes, it is." And then a long pause, and then she said, "What happened to you?"
Oh, that's so phenomenal. But I think what's so exciting about this is that you've been a part of so many people's lives for so long. I mean, really, like I say, you are a huge chunk of my childhood. And so I do want to come back around to this idea of the Barber of Seville itself. I mean, like you say, it's a well-known tale. It's one of those that people know whether or not they know the story of the opera. So just to fill people in case they're not too sure, I'm going to give a super short rundown of the story. Rosina is in love with the Count, who's pretending to be someone else. And then Dr. Bartolo is determined to wed Rosina. And Figaro, the jack of all trades, Barber, is just having a bad hair day. So not only are you playing the role of Figaro in this production, but you're also Rosina and the Count and Bartolo and 10 characters in total, plus the audience. You wear a lot of hats, don't you?
Literally, I think the best way to do this was to have wigs on stage so that I could. I just got a notice in front of your face saying your internet connection is unstable, but
Yep.
I'm not unstable, am I? No, I'm okay.
This
Yeah.
is what we're working through, isn't it?
Yeah, but anyway, I knew that I had to interact with the other characters, so I figured if I had styrofoam wig forms with the wig of that character on the head, I could go up to that character and carry on a conversation with them, and then switch wigs and be the other person. So I've got several styrofoam wigs. I've got this is one of the wig forms, a styrofoam wig form, and on top of it is the bald head of Dr. Bartolo. So all I would do is I'd go up to it and take the bald head wig off and then put it on my head, and suddenly I become Bartolo. and
Love
can
that.
sing Bartolo's song. All of the world looks greener when I am near Rosina. And then I put pivotal eyebrows on it so that I can get mad when I find out about Lindoro. So I can just go like this, like look at my eyes and just tip the eyebrows down, and suddenly he's angry. Rosina! And then I can go back to neutral again, be okay again.
I mean, it really is. So I know you've got a few other things surrounding you. What else do you have over there, ready to
Well,
explain?
of course, the Barber of Seville has to have a pair of scissors. So I
Those
and
are
I
those are garden shears.
the problem with scissors and on stage, and I'm actually dancing and running with scissors, like it's all dangerous. So I just put it into the song, that I'm running with scissors. It's part of Figaro's song, Largo. It's I'm running with scissors, watch out. And but I had a dilemma, like what kind of scissors. So I made oversized kindergarten scissors with the blunt ends,
Yeah, I was
and they're
gonna
just
say,
made out
see
of
the
plywood.
safety scissors there.
Yeah, safety scissors.
Now, I am curious in terms of moving from an in-school production, like we were talking about. This came about in 2009, and you go from an in-school production to a video streaming online. Does that make it easier to do this whole one-man opera thing?
Uh, well, the show was designed for in schools, and by being in schools and doing the show over and over again and touring with it, I discovered what worked and what didn't
Hmm.
work. So I kept polishing it in that way so that it would work in a school with kids there, and the teachers and the students would I trained. They were all taught to shout things at me, and on cue they became the chorus. I would say one thing, and I would say call for the barber, and they'd all yell Figaro, tra-la-la-la-la, and they would say tra-la-la-la-la, and it was all cued in beforehand. And I even told them, to hiss and boo at the bad guys. And uh, so they were such a big part of it. And then when I had to switch it to do the video, when they asked me to do that, my first reaction was no,
Hmm.
because I just couldn't see how I could translate it. And then I went back to my old philosophy of always say yes and then find a way. And I'm so glad I did, because the 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 gang that videotaped it and edited it, they're called Moose Took Productions. They put their heart and soul into this thing. They said, we want to help you realize your dream of making this a video. So we talked through it so many times, and I went to the extreme where I was not only playing all the characters and the audience, I was also a theater critic coming on stage, stopping the show, and the concession stand selling popcorn. Like I went way too far and then pared it back. And we ended up with something that I think is great.
Well, I'm so glad that you said yes to this as well, because I think it is just going to offer a little bit of levity, a little bit of laughter to us, and we all need more of that in our lives, don't we?
Well, cool. Yeah. And it's an odd time. This show was funded in part by Safe at Home Manitoba, which put money towards the arts to create stuff for people to watch at home. And I got another grant for it. And my project is called Sounds Crazy, and I teach uh, families how to make their own musical instruments out of stuff you find in a recycling bin. And uh, I had to put that on the back burner because this opera is taking up too much time. And all of these projects are due by the end of the month. So I'm just about out of my mind with videotaping. I got some here, like just a plastic bottle with a balloon stretched over the top, becomes like it only plays jazz though, like that. And then this is a tin can twanger. It's just a tin can with 2 paint stir sticks. So I got a bunch of stuff like that I'm going to start putting them on YouTube starting Monday. So it's like no end of projects, and then come April there'll be nothing.
Yeah, it's true. But look, it's great to be busy, and so thankful that you're doing this. And it's been over a year now since we've been really without live performances, but it's also been a good chunk of that time we were without hairdressers and barbers. So I guess now I know a guy with some really big garden shears if I need some help.
Yeah, don't count on a great haircut though.
Well, Al, thank you so much for taking the time to chat with us at Classic 107 today.
Oh, wonderful. Thanks for doing this. This is great fun, and we'll keep listening to you.